Because like you got a hot date.
No. I will tell you, I'm now finally turning back to work that, I'm closing out cases like that case today, and I'm closing things out. And so now I'm
Mm,
looking at sort of like the new fresh crop. I got some money in the streets, but it's coming in.
I
Uh,
know that's right.
it's coming in. It was a little bit
Same.
more than I cared for it to be. We like ours like this, straight
Listen,
up. Like I
I'm
don't.
operating a new philosophy this year. I'm not doing a goddamn thing for free no more, other than for people who do free stuff for me.
I hear you.
Like we barter, me and Emma,
Yeah.
Way to Shine, Reggie P,
Yeah.
the our core group, yeah, but everybody else, see attached.
Hmm.
I ain't doing nothing else for free. I done ate enough stuff. No more. It ain't get me nowhere.
Yep. Nowhere at all.
All right, let me get this going. So, what up, though, y'all? This is a special edition of What Up, Though Fridays on a Tuesday. Y'all know Detroit gonna start popping on the stand starting probably today, but really tomorrow because it's raining today and the weather supposed to be a lot better. The rest of the week we supposed to hit 80 next week. So, but I ain't gonna get too excited because it's still early. I don't really get excited till around Memorial Day personally for the weather.
Yeah.
Um, Couple church announcements. Detroit Real Estate Weekend. It is August the 1st through the 4th this year. VIP tickets are on sale as well as regular workshop tickets. The regular workshop tickets is right now $297, and when all the early bird tickets are gone, it goes up to $497. VIP includes your hotel stay. It includes like 3 or 4 meals, I think. I gotta look. We touring the city. We're gonna tour tiny home community, container homes, and I forgot what else, but it's a whole bunch of stuff. And we always do a nice little meet and greet with food, drinks, blah, blah, split. Ponce will be one of the speakers. One of my
Yep.
good homies and attorney friends slash broker. I got Reggie P speaking and a couple other people. So as it gets closer, I probably start having everybody come on here like one on ones and stuff like that. So I want to introduce Ponce, or actually you can introduce yourself, Ponce, since you all razzle dazzle tonight.
Yeah, but I'm still blushing. So I'll do it because you're teaching me how to do this.
Good job.
Not to fold under the camera. But
Yeah.
Ponce Clay, the founder and principal attorney for Clay Law PLC, where our course of work and business includes probate administration, disposition of probate real estate properties, landlord tenant, and real property law. Additionally, we also we like to think of ourselves as just a general hometown civil administration type law firm, whereas effectively we know how to do it and you're willing to pay, that we can get with it. And so that's what Clay Law is. I'm also the managing broker for Clay Realty Investment and Development Company. Well, right now we represent a lot more buyers, a lot more sellers than we do buyers because again I found myself listing and making sure that a lot of properties have been disposed of properly, uh, and I'm afraid in some respects targeting not only investors but people that want to live and make these the principal residents. And then last but not least, a emerging developer, 32 doors on the west side of Detroit. The pro forma right now is still being made, but we're trying to decide if we're going to do frankly market rate, which we could do, targeting a lot of folks that work in the Henry Ford Medical Complex area, or if we want to do more combined use mixed house affordable housing, because frankly that's the demand signal right now in Detroit. And so those of us and all of us that work here in this space that have labored through this space know that if the sense, the CENTS, don't make sense, then it's just a damn hobby. And I don't do hobbies. Try to do this, for a lot of intentional things. And thank you as always for trusting me with your audience and being here. Thank you.
Michelle, thank you for always coming on. I appreciate it. I'm glad we finally was able to get this scheduled.
Sure.
So all right, let's get into it. So, with all the stuff I've been seeing going on in the state I love to hate, New York, and I
Mhm.
saw they just announced that they changing their squatter rights. So, what are squatter rights or squatter laws for Michigan?
Thank you. And I guess the plug is I'm not giving legal advice, but I'm gonna give you a general idea of what it is. And because I had to, believe it or not, anticipation of this, and I found my notes. I wanted to be able to say what squatter is defined as, but I also don't want to make it so legalese that people don't understand it, right?
Right.
And so a squatter can be called a trespasser, someone that you do not have any relationship whatsoever with, right? There was never a former tenant. It was never a tenant that held over. It wasn't a person that was in land contract. It wasn't a buddy friend or a cousin. Essentially, someone or people who have, without permission, occupied a property and have refused to leave when either given notice verbally or by sign. Good old fashioned no trespassing. Generally, what generally happens then is that squatter, ideally, of those folks, they set out to, in a negative experience, the squatters are become nuisance in the neighborhood. Like, who are those folks? They're probably not keeping things up the way that we keep things up, or they're not consistent with the way the neighborhood looks. In a more not so negative way, squatters may actually cure something. And what they cure is they have a presence in a home that nobody else is going to break into, right? And they actually set out to try to make it their home. I had an instance like that just this past week on the east side of Detroit. But so in general, a squatter, as we think of it in Michigan, as a persons or people that enters on property that's private without your permission and will not leave when you ask them to leave.
Oh, my bad. I ain't know you just finished your statement.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm gonna look that up too to make sure that I'm not doing something wrong.
what's the difference between a squatter and somebody that's trespassing? Because to me, you ain't got no business in my property. You doing both technically.
Sure. And you're right. A squatter is somebody that you don't have any business being in your property. You've been told not to come in this property, or I've given you notice, like no trespass, don't come to this property. We have no relationship at all, none whatsoever. We have no, we didn't formally know each other. We don't know each other. You're not a former renter or anything like that. You literally have decided in a empty property to just come on in. No more than, if I can, just for the sake of our conversation, someone that decides just to come in your house and go, hey, you need to leave, or come across your yard or enter into a building that's not occupied. Now, the way that we use it in a very generic sense for our audience is basically somebody buys a property and somebody in it, or somebody's bought a property and somebody moves in it, and they're not either paying you rent or not trying to buy it, or they're a nuisance to the community. So there are ways, very legal ways, and ways that I tell all folks who own those properties or you have claimed that property, of how to peacefully evict or peacefully remove and get possession of that property. Believe it or not, the very first thing to do is, and it may seem so pragmatic that it's right in your face, you just ask them to leave. There have been some potential clients that never become clients. Frankly, I say, offer them a couple of dollars and see if they leave. And they'll go, what does that look like? I said, you can have meet them at the police station, right? Will you please leave? Of course, that doesn't happen, but I still like to go through that process because some of them do. And sometimes it makes a good business sense or a business case, instead of spending time, money, and effort, to ask them to leave, whatever that cost is. But generally, folks don't want to do that because their feelings in it. They're not seeing it as a business case, something that can be resolved within a month. The second way you do it.
Hello. Let me find it. TV text. Like, what happened? My bad, y'all. You might have technical difficulties. Oh, there you go. Welcome back.
Did I do that? I'm sorry. Okay.
I don't know. I was like, I didn't touch nothing.
Yeah, me either. I'm here. Yeah, I'm still good on the internet. So
all good. It happens. So okay. You were saying?
Yeah, I was about to go through the process of how to regain possession of a property that's yours from folks who occupy it. And of course, that's summary proceedings in the district court in the city in which, and the Michigan city in which the property is located. And we'll use Detroit. That'll be 36th District Court. And that's, I wanted to stop there and then see if there was, which way you wanted me to go with the conversation.
No, you good the way it's going, because I'm just trying to ask questions that I know people be asking me.
Okay. All right.
Sometimes, like, I think I can explain it right, but I'm not an attorney, so I feel like It's
To
time
your point,
from
well,
you.
you did pretty good too, and so I wanted to look it up. So I like my words to make sense. A squatter is someone who occupies a property without legal ownership or permission from the property owner. What you and I talked about, right?
Okay.
Squatter, yep. What you and I talked about. A squatter is not only someone that enters a land, because sometimes if you way out in the more suburban areas or rural areas, they may literally do base camp, right? Make a camp or something like that.
Hmm.
It's, someone who's considered not only enters that land without permission, but takes up residence there illegally. That's where the part that we need to speak of, as it relates to most places in Detroit, when you take up residence illegally in a piece of property.
So for those who don't know, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Ponce,
Go
when
ahead.
somebody takes a residence, that means they done sometimes they have a fake lease, a fake deed. They got utilities on in their name.
Sure.
In
Yep.
a way, you can kind of the utility thing. You can get a notice like you can let DTE know like, hey, this is vacant property. I'm working on it, so they can kind of alert you if somebody tries to
Hmm.
get the utilities on in their name, and then you get a heads up, so you know like, hold on, something going on, and you
Yep.
can do the same with the water company, right?
Yep. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and
Folks.
what else they'll do? They'll get mail sent to the house.
Yes.
So a big thing for my out of state investors for Detroit, I can't speak on other areas, but just for Detroit or Metro Detroit, y'all gotta have somebody checking on your houses. That's the point blank period. Like a lot of y'all just buy houses and just sit on them and do nothing. This is not the same Detroit from 10, 15 years ago. You can't do that no more because one, the city gonna be on your head if you're not taking care of it and it get crazy, and then the land bank coming behind them. So if you're not taking care of the property, other people in the neighborhood see that you're not taking care of it, they gonna just move up in your house. And if it's the dead of winter, it don't matter if your house is just gutted to the studs. It's still shelter. They gonna get some space heaters
Yeah.
and a generator and keep it going. So make sure your insurance is intact.
And to your point, you brought up a point, and it's more of a legal theory. The theory is that we don't expect owners to be absent. See, to
True.
your point, we expect owners, whether they're here physically or not, but somebody's checking on the property. And
Mm,
again, let's think about the neighborhoods where we feel safe and where we live, right? And the house is just there. It's like, where's the owner? Grass not being cut, things like that. Again, I bring the theory back in case. What if somebody says, okay, fine, we'll move in there, like you said, trying to keep warm, to keep the grass cut. They're quiet. They don't do a whole lot. They ain't causing no problems. I think you'd rather have that than the eyesore, right? And so
yep.
the law and the theory also has a law there by way where that person, if they're doing it in a very open manner, like you said, collecting mail, I'm here. They're not trying to be sneaky about it. And over a certain amount of time, in Michigan, is 15 years of doing that type of activity. Because the idea is an owner, one way or the other, would find out that this was happening. But if there's an
Hmm.
active owner after 15 years, a person may be able to acquire title to that property under Michigan law through what's called adverse possession, right? But it has to be over a certain amount of time. I'm almost positive 15 years. I know it's greater than 5.
So let me make sure we understand this, y'all, for the people who are new to investing. So if you have a property in the city of Detroit or Metro Detroit and you just let it go for 15 years, and during that 15 years a squatter moves in illegally and stays there the entire 15 years.
Yep.
Um,
Openly, as if it were theirs, openly, where any
right,
owner would have known, whoa, what's going on over here? And they
right.
don't.
So if they living as if it's theirs, that mean they could be done fixed it up. They
Yep.
could start paying the property taxes, even
Yep.
though it's in your name, they still getting paid. They
Yep.
keep the grass cut, shoveling the snow. They basically taking care of the home as if it's theirs.
Yep.
So what I want to know is if the landlord is paying, you just got to be a fool because even if the squatter is paying the taxes, like you got to be aware, like, dang, I ain't paid taxes on this house in a minute.
I've asked that question many a times.
Like I would assume,
You know
like,
that you just wasn't riding on the taxes, right? I've
yeah,
asked that
like you
question many.
thought they just gave you 15 years for free.
Sure, sure. And I did look it up. Just wanted to make sure I did recovery in land and action to recovery in land, and it is 15 years in Michigan, right?
That's
So,
crazy.
it's 15 years in Michigan. Basically, a person who could have asserted claim to title by adverse possession for more than 15 years, right? And then that's the trigger. And even if somebody then decides to show up, there may be, and we won't get too geeky here, some type of equitable relief saying, I've been here, I've improved this land, I've maintained this land. But then that's when you really get, litigation and stuff like that. But in theory, there may be a claim by the so-called squatter that now would become the owner.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's the truth. But again, it's crazy. But imagine being the person on the block going, I'd rather them be there,
Then it be empty.
right. See, I want the owner, if owners need to be here and do something about it, then that's kind of where the theory goes.
Also true.
hmm hmm I'll share with you. I guess we can do a recent case. I call it squat. They were true squatters on the east side of Detroit, Moraine and Kercheval. Really nice little brick tutor. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
a person that's familiar with Detroit, but that not here. I think they live in Georgia. You know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, New York folks, and bought the house in this case from the Wayne County tax auction. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the people were in there, and just like all the paperwork says, they made a don't contact them. You have to take do things the proper way. And the way they became my client is because these people talked back with them. It was like, hey, we'll try to buy the house from you. Yeah, we're in here. We've been in here 2 years surviving, right? And the buyer, the new owner, didn't want to do that. In this case, it wasn't hostile though. In this case, it was really a good news story. Uh, we didn't have to, but we were able to, through the process, say you might want to contact Mister or something like that, some other income housing place.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to get a place not too far from my client's house. We still did go through the eviction process, not in a mean way, but I wanted to make sure my client was covered, right? That we did things the proper way, gave notice, went to court, gave a move out date, did not move, got an order of eviction. We just didn't execute the order of eviction because they ended up moving within about a week. So that worked out. And I went over there and got the keys, and they says, yeah, the front door is open. And then I just called my client, and they changed the locks, and they're securing the property. Another cool thing about that is what I just spoke about, because that property was between two so-called nice brick houses. So those neighbors were always telling the owner, this is what they got going on. When are we going to change it? Let's clear this thing up. So again, there was a community effort, and all people wanted to get things resolved there.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder, when people just move in like that, and the ones who really take care of it, do people on the block even know? Like damn, they was squatting the whole time. Like they was so nice.
Probably not. Probably not. I haven't seen it happen here in Michigan, but I've read of cases in other areas, especially during when the economy had a turn in the really, really nice areas. Folks
Mm-hmm.
walk away from the properties, and you had some folks went, I'll sit in here. It was worth the risk. They sat in there. I don't know what came of it, but some people were doing that. They were going right into those so-called McMansions and those nice properties in which the owners had walked away. And there's still a process if they had a mortgage before the mortgage company did their thing. Now they didn't stay there 15 years, but they dang near caused a little stink where they got cash for keys because they they were in a nice house and they had kind of camped out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And yep.
That's crazy.
Are there any
All right,
questions from your audience in
let me.
particular?
I don't see none on here, but let me check Instagram.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. I'm ready to
Somebody
comment.
said, somebody let me please buy that brass factory on Fort. Brass factory. What brass factory?
Mm-hmm. I'm not familiar with that.
I gotta go by there.
Sure.
Somebody said if it's a Detroit land bank home, they always post a letter saying if you fix the home up, it's still not yours and will not get any money back. I mean, yeah, I don't buy land bank houses. Let me see what other question. What up, though? I need to plug in with you. All right, click that link in the bio. Exactly, $4.97, not $49.70. And for Detroit Real Estate Weekend, I'm gonna really break down this Joe Louis Greenway though.
Okay.
Like, I think I'm gonna do a course on it because there's a lot of studying going into it. And I was like, y'all ain't gonna do this, so I'm gonna do it for y'all and charge y'all.
Right. Right.
Uh,
So how things going in the have we kind of capped out yet, Asia? And from your purview, is there any room? Well, there is still some room, but where is, and you probably know this, so we've already gone up from the river. We've already gone up through Midtown or Cass Corridor, as we used to call it. We've already come
It's
up.
gonna always be Cass Corridor to me.
Mhm. Uh,
A real Detroit is gonna always call it Cass Corridor.
Dig it. And then, of course, you got the Lower East Side from 94, everything south going down to the river, the Cadillacs, LeMays and things like that, all the way. As you head a little bit further east, on Kercheval, I think they even call that North Point now, but it used to be Kercheval in that area, East Village, West Village, that type of area.
Yeah, where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
You can still buy over there. The one next door to mine on Parker just closed yesterday for 50,000,
okay.
and that say a lot. And they done started rehabbing on my block of Parker because I'm like 4 blocks from Kercheval,
Yep.
and the wave is coming down now. I've been holding this since 2019, so I'm hoping I win this grant and I can just go and start my rehab. But I'll sell it too because it's wood
Yeah.
frame, and then
Yeah.
I gotta go. I gotta wrap it and do side and all that, which I'm cool doing. But I sell it to somebody come give me I probably say 55.
Right now, the wood frame, definitely the wood frames on 48209 and 48210.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite yet southwest side. Let's say the Tireman area, Livernois, Michigan Avenue area, the
Mm-hmm.
ATB. So that would be like Joy Road and in that area. There's been a remarkable, folks I mean, hey, they're taking those wood frame houses. They literally they put a new porch on front and back, put those double decker porches up, put a roof and put windows in it. And
Well, you know what? That Greenway coming over there. The beginning of the Greenway is Joy Road and it's got the cross street, but the beginning is like right there.
okay,
And a couple of houses I sold like maybe 5-10 years ago is literally right there. So like I got a couple properties on Cloverline and Joy that I sold probably like 2014, 2015 on land contracts. And
right,
I'm like, I told all of them, I was like, hey, if y'all can hold on, hold on. Cause it's still nice over there though. The block's still nice. It's still all brick, little 2-1 brick houses. Like some is bungalow, some just 2-1s though. But I tell people to hold on because that Greenway is they can literally walk to the Greenway from their house.
dig it, dig it. Um, Also, you find that where I was going with this. Oh, so we said 48219. I mean, correction, 48209, 48210.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a nice place where the River Rouge runs through, and it still does, in Brightmoor.
I've been preaching Brightmore since about 2018 now.
The cool thing about that is a lot of them don't have basements, so you don't have to deal with that. But I know that you're more experienced in that area where you got that crawl space and pipes might, freeze, but you can deal with that.
That's
Brightmoor,
easy to insulate the crawl space.
dig it. I mean, the River Rouge runs through there. The river is healthy. They're
Mm-hmm.
redoing things on those banks where I saw folks over there going down to fish, foxes and deer and stuff like that. Probably coyote come along with it too, but that's kind of cool. Yeah, them deer walk around there like pigeons.
Oh,
Been
Brightmore look like the zoo. It be all kind of animals on the pasture.
yeah,
It be deers over there. I done seen rabbits,
yeah,
possums all over the city.
man, right,
Raccoons,
right.
we had raccoons trying to come into the crawl space when I first bought that little house, but I
Mhm.
found out where they was coming in there, so we sealed everything. So
Yeah,
that's the thing with crawl space. You got to go. Well, I'm not, but somebody got to go in there and make sure
oh,
everything
and
is
those
sealed.
groundhogs, those woodchucks.
That's
Again,
what it was. Groundhogs that was over there. They kept trying to come in, and they was
they gather
almost
up
in
like
there.
nothing, boy. They gather up like what up? So they'll
And
just.
that's the only thing with them little frame houses. You got to make sure you like take care of it.
Mhm.
Like if I can get some I don't know, I might strip all that aluminum off, put all siding on there.
Okay. All right. I mean, again, you're well versed in that stuff. I watch folks do it, and
I got you.
I can speak enough maybe over a beverage, but you're the one in there actually getting it together.
Mm-hmm.
Are property managers still? I mean, there's a value there. There's always a value for property managers, but I get a lot of clients calling sometimes saying, "Do you have one recommendation?" And then I kind of step back a little bit because I says a property manager proper, no pun intended, or someone to function that you trust to basically go collect the rents. Uh,
Basically.
what are your thoughts?
With all these property management methods been going on in Detroit the last couple years, I don't recommend nobody no more.
I hear you.
I kind of got thrown into it, so I do manage like 4 houses for my tenants, but
Okay.
I got strict rules. I'm not paying no taxes. I'm
Okay.
not paying no bills. You paying all that because this is your house. All I'm doing is collecting the rent. I'm still gonna keep 10% for
Yep.
collecting the rent because it's in my bank account and I gotta pay taxes on this money.
Okay.
Uh, I'm gonna send you a 1099 at the end of the year, of course. Still, I
Okay.
do all the maintenance on them, but the houses I personally do, which is why I only do the houses I did, ain't
Mhm.
no maintenance because I did the house.
Gotcha.
So that's why I do it. Now the ones that I ain't do the rehab on, I ain't doing them. If they bought the house from me and it's a rehab I did, I'll do it. But
Gotcha.
I'm only doing 4, and then I manage my own. But I am probably gonna get an actual management site built eventually,
Okay.
because as I get my own stuff, I'll probably still manage my own.
Gotcha. Got you. I did
Yeah,
forget about the other major thoroughfare that we have that literally starts downtown and heads all the way to Fort Gratiot, or almost Port Huron. That's Gratiot.
yeah.
Uh,
Gratiot was the third street in the world. Cause
mhm.
what was one?
Yeah, so Gratiot, comes right off that spoke. Again, major thoroughfare, real wide, and the the uh, the Detroit City Airport. When we finally get that thing doing what it needs to be doing, is up that way.
Mhm. And
And
them
then
houses over there nice.
oh yes,
They
yeah,
still
craftsman
stay
house, those
nice. Like,
wide
yeah,
porches where you sit out on, real nice. And
yeah, all brick over there. I don't think there's no frame houses over there.
yeah, and so those are pretty cool. I think that I don't know, so we're just talking. But I think that a lot of that inventory over there is probably sniffed up, at least the one off Gratiot. The stuff that's facing Gratiot, because I used
Mhm.
to kind of track that on the land auction. I mean, on the tax auctions sometime. But the ones that have remained, I think there's probably going to be some infield going on there because it only makes sense to leave from downtown Detroit, by the Eastern Market and head straight up. You can travel sometimes as fast as you're on the freeway going straight up Gratiot.
What area getting gentrified? Cause I'm on all the city email list. They about to have a community meeting in
Where?
Fort in the red zone,
Really?
and I ain't surprised.
Okay.
Even though the red zone is the red zone,
Yeah.
it's some nice brick houses over there. They
Okay.
all nice little affordable bungalows or whatever.
Sure.
They gon' I'm just paying attention to it, and I do see the red zone being next for Gratiot because the red zone is too close to 8 Mile and it's on the outskirts. So everything that's that borders the city limits, because
Hmm.
once you cross 8 Mile right there, what's that, East Point or
Hmm.
Old Detroit or whatever.
Hmm.
So I do think the red zone gonna be next, and I've been following it. Like, why y'all having community meetings?
Sure.
Y'all ain't cared about it before.
I think Highland Park is about to give it another go. It was dormant for a moment. They had to resolve some, water issue things and those types of stuff. Had a
Yeah,
change of leadership, a complete change of leadership, but they're still very present. And in some cases, some would argue, rightfully so, very protective. Where Highland Park is sitting right between two so-called nice neighborhoods, right? Boston Edison to the south, Detroit Golf Course, to the
hmm
north, and just to the east, Hamtramck, and frankly to the west, maybe University Backlit District and University District. So
I'm
they're
glad
very
you brought that up.
protective. Hmm.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish first. I'm
Yeah,
glad
so
you
very
brought that up.
protective as we think about what may is coming down the pipeline, and then I also don't forget your thought. I was looking at addressing two.
I'm ready now.
D. Did you forget it?
No, but I'm ready now, so I
Say
don't.
it. Nope, no, I don't want you to forget it. Say it.
So when you brought up the golf course, have you been by Palmer Park lately?
um, through. Oh, yeah. I haven't.
Bro,
Tell me about it. I've been
bro,
going through it, but tell me about it. Yeah,
Palmer Park look like don't none of us live over there no more. They got
there's some
they got
game.
they got a dog park.
Yes, I know that.
They started that last year. If you go by there, it's a lot of dumpsters. So some renovations going on.
There's some game where you use the frisbee and you walk in the old golf course and you throw.
Yeah. I think that's called pickleball or something.
I don't know. I don't know. I'll be.
Well, they got the dog park over there. They done redid the park itself and put pickleball over there, racquetball, uh, all type of sports.
That little water park thing too. That little sprinkler in the summertime. That little water park
Yep, they
thing.
opened that back up.
Yeah,
I've been hearing that those old apartments over there they not renewing leases.
I believe that.
I definitely believe that.
I believe that they
I
have
definitely believe that.
that neo. Yeah, yeah. I believe that.
Yeah, so we talk. So for those who ain't from Detroit people, we talking to y'all. 6 Mile and Woodward, that part of Palmer Park,
Mm,
like
gotcha.
all that's about to be gentrified. Like
You know,
I
they
like,
used to be. I mean, we're about same age, but a little bit. There used to be show bars around through there,
yeah,
and
I remember seeing them as a kid.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. As a kid, I would be in the car looking, but there used to be
Mm-hmm.
show bars all through there.
Mm-hmm.
There was show bars, and it was.
And it makes sense for Palmer Park because Palmer Woods is right outside of that.
Yep,
Uh, what else? Sherwood Forest over there, Green Acres. As you keep coming up Woodward,
yep,
and then you got all the new development with the state fairgrounds.
yep. And that's why I say to the east you have. Uh,
Is that
anyway,
Pole? No, that's
yeah,
not Pole Town.
but you know what I'm saying. Straight right there, just literally to the east before you get to John R. That
Yeah,
section.
like East State Far,
Yeah.
Woodward, that little
Hmm.
pocket. I know
Yeah.
you're talking about. I just can't think of the neighborhood
Yeah.
because there
Yeah.
used to be a lot of bakeries over there. A lot of the what's that culture people? Not Chaldeans, but
Uh,
something else.
Beirut, Lebanese. It
Yeah,
was.
because there used to be a lot of bakeries over
Yep.
there.
Yep.
A lot of Polish people over there too,
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So
Okay.
for people who are on here who not from Detroit or from Michigan, Detroit has two cities within the city of Detroit. We have Hamtramck, which is where a lot of the Bangladesh, Polish,
Mhm.
Lebanese, Arabian. No, I'm sorry, I said that word all wrong. What is it? Start with an A. Armenian, is that it?
Armenians.
Yeah, that. I'm sorry, y'all, for mispronouncing y'all culture, but yeah, that, and it's like a melting pot over there. Bangladesh over there, everybody, and then you got Highland Park, which is another city within the city of Detroit as you come up Woodward.
Hmm.
So the video I posted from the clip from Reggie P and them podcast, that clip got over 100 some thousand views with me telling people, hey, start buying in Highland Park. And this was from 2022. But I've been seeing it because like I always tell people, if you own Woodward from Woodward to Oakland, Woodward to Hamilton, the first two blocks before you get to like what's that, Bobian? On this side, on the north end side. Well, it's all north end to me. And on
Hopewell
this,
and where are we at? I'm sorry. Where are we? Are
so
we?
I'm on Woodward
Yep.
and what's
I'm
the
heading
street?
south and
Woodward. So the street at the Trowbridge that starts Highland Park, I think.
correct.
Right.
That would
So
be. So we're coming down.
I'm going up towards 8 Mile.
So that'll be Webb, Tuxedo. After
Right.
that,
So
right?
all them streets, and then from Woodward and Trowbridge to Oakland and Trowbridge,
Are you going that way?
and
Okay,
then come up until you hit Davidson
that's
and
right.
Oakland, and then come over till you hit Woodward and Davidson.
That's right.
All right, so then we're gonna cross Woodward,
Yep.
and then we're gonna go from Woodward and Davidson on that side to Davidson and Hamilton, and
That's
then
right.
come back down. So that whole little pocket
That's
is
right.
gonna be gentrified. It's too many signs. I'm seeing too many of these people over there jogging with their dogs out,
At
just
dusk,
just frolicking, having a blast.
at dusk with no fanny pack, not a one.
Right, with their little ponytails bouncing in the breeze, running.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that. I'm seeing a lot of dumpsters. That's always y'all sign, y'all. A lot of dumpsters. But even before y'all see, a lot of people like, well, I don't see it. Like I don't see dumpsters. It's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes. People are buying them properties and holding on to them, and just maintaining them. Now they starting to rehab because maybe they just got funding, they just got their credit, their job finally moved them here, or they spouse was here and they just moved here, or something like that. I've done a lot of houses for them. Like when I was preaching North End 10 years ago, it
Mhm.
was people that didn't look like me that was moving here from the West Coast. Cause that's when the DPS was hiring all those massive amount of teachers and offering all them incentives. So they
Mhm.
was coming here.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you got that. I'm trying to see what else. Calvert popping. I know people been buying on Calvert for years. Calvert got some big, stupid, retarded size houses. And them two family flats over there, they like the ones on Linwood and Davidson. The front part is short, but that boy, when you start walking the
All the way
side,
back.
that
Yeah.
boy go pay about 200 feet all
Yeah.
the way to the alley. Like
Yeah.
them houses is huge. Like you could have 2,000 square feet on each floor.
It runs. It
And
runs.
then and they all brick.
Yep. It runs long. It runs long. Yep.
All
Yep.
right,
Yep.
we do got some questions.
Okay.
All right. So how is it, even with the owning now land bank properties, are they worth the investment for a first time? Now the ones already rehab, if there's an owning now, no, that's rehab and ready. I will buy those. Own it now, you still got to do the rehab. Most land bank houses are going to cost you a minimum of 100 grand for rehab, and that's not a full rehab. most land bank houses need full guts because I ain't talking for nobody else. Me, if you hire me as your GC, I'm gutting the house, and if I can't gut it, I'm not touching it. I done enough of those. It always backfire, and I'm straight. If it got knob and tube in there, I'm gutting the house. Cause
Oh,
to really get knob and tube
that's
outright,
man,
the
right?
huh?
Knob and tube is from a
Yeah,
zillion years ago, isn't it?
it was the first electricity ever made, and a lot of these houses still got it in there. Some of it still work, but that is a major fire hazard too.
Mhm.
I've been in some houses where people have mixed wiring with knob and tube. I'm not doing that. That's a fire waiting to happen, and my life is on the line. If
Right.
knob and tube's in that house and you don't want me to gut it, find somebody else. Because for an electrician to really go in there and get all that out, like safely and correctly, they got to go in there and literally with some pliers and snip with their hands
Okay.
every piece. And knob and tube runs like a straight line, up and down, zigzag. It's running all through the walls. And some people they'll just like bust a bunch of holes in the wall and pull it out. But by the time you got 15 holes in this one 8x4 sheet, you should have just gutted it.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's my thing. So as far as to answer your question, is owning now land bank property worth the investment? I ain't buying no land bank house. The only thing I'm personally gonna buy from land bank, I will buy an apartment building when my money get that loan to really do that rehab right, and some lots. That's it. Because if
And,
you don't get that loan and you ain't got the time to really put into that rehab, I wouldn't buy no land bank. That's just me.
I'll read that question though, because I'm learning. You know,
All good.
yeah, but the thing of it is in your opinion, and I go, well, what's your, and we won't belabor it, and what's your objective? 255 DEE. It depends on what your objective is. Would it be worth the investment if you're going to sit there and maybe have somebody else live it in and you didn't care for the next 5, 10 years? Sure, maybe. But right, yeah, so it depends. But you got two different, not two different, but different perspectives to be able to make your own informed decision. I mean, Asia just rattled it off right off the rip. Again, buying is easy. Now we got
Mm-hmm.
to maintain it and get it back to life. I share that with clients. I said, buying is easy. If they want to sell it, you got the money. Done. That's the easy part. So
Right? Can you hold it? Like
right,
I had to hold Bow for 3 years.
right. So those are the things that uh, 2452D that I believe you should consider more. Thank you. Next.
Somebody said anything, or Carmen, she says anything exciting off Gratiot Harper area like Homecomb Street. Look, the whole city is going to be gentrified. Everything is happening in phases. So whatever area you're in that's next to an area that's being gentrified, the wave is naturally going to come your way. It's just a buy and wait. So I'm going to say the whole city is exciting. And this draft that is coming really starting tomorrow, because that's when everybody probably gonna start getting here if they ain't here already. This draft is a test run for the real future of Detroit. I don't know if nobody really see that, but it is. It's about to be so many eyes on Detroit. So Detroiters, I need y'all on y'all best behavior because we need this. I really do. Love y'all, but need y'all on your best behavior. So that's number one. Number two, with the way the Lions were playing the best they've ever played my entire 41 years of living, that brought even more attention to Detroit. And you got people coming to Detroit for the first time because Detroit got such a bag stealing. You know how many clients I done got, and I'm like, hey, just come to the city, we gonna kick it. And they fall in, everybody I know who comes to the city, they fall in love with Detroit is a dope city, it's just we done got this bad rep, and now we coming out of that. And
Yeah.
even when you come out of downtown, our neighborhoods are just as dope as downtown. So with all this spotlight on the city, people are going to be coming here wanting, like, you know what? I'm here. I might bring my business here, my family here. Let me get a little spot downtown. If they got a family, they're going to need a house. And there's been articles on that. The people who first started gentrified downtown, now they in their late 30s, early 40s. Now they want.
Having kids, right? They're having kids now. They've had the experience, right?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, as far as your question, I'm buying everywhere, but I'm personally buying lots right now because I want to build. Because eventually, every house in the city gonna be rehab
Sure.
or torn down.
Infield, yeah, infield, for all other stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
I know, and I'm glad this is taking the natural course, but you continue to warn and or advise, not advise, but share with people what to do with people who won't live out. You said they're bad tenants, and
Mm-hmm.
folks, at least you want to hear it from me in public and always, all the time. You just use the process. You use the eviction process, summary proceedings. There is a timeline because you're in the largest city in Michigan. But if you're sometimes in some of the smaller cities, the statutory move out is 10 days from the time that once we've made the first, you've done the proper summons and complaint, you got the first hearing. Then if they still don't move and you don't go to pretrial, then you just ask for a move out date. The minimum is 10 days. And for smaller cities around Detroit that doesn't have a huge docket, Highland Park, Melvindale, River,
Mhm.
those types of things, it moves along pretty fast. Detroit is not slow because it's inefficient. Detroit, as far as the summary proceedings, there's a lot of people, and then sometimes, and the courts see this, sometimes there are dirty hands on both sides, right? The rental is not registered. There's no certificate of compliance. There's no certificate of occupancy. And so that allows a tenant, and now that they have some legal aid out there calling those real easy shots out, that allows a
Mhm.
tenant to make some type of defenses like either A, the reason I won't leave, or the reason I'm not paying rent. And now it's time, energy, and effort, right? And so,
That done backfired on some people though,
of course it has.
because I done had clients who didn't
Of
listen to
course.
me, and then the tenant went that route, and now the tenant ain't living there no more because the homeowner they done sold it.
Or there's something to be said that it goes like this, depending on which side of the deal I'm on. You're absolutely right. It's not fit for human occupancy. Therefore, we need you to leave.
Facts. And you know what? That's basically what I took. Cause the landlord, she was all crying and stuff, cause she don't listen. And I was like, look, don't say them tears. I'm about to tell you what to do.
Mhm.
So I was like, send me the lease. The tenant was on month-to-month lease. I'm like, boom, that's your scapegoat.
That's right.
Since the house is so unfit for her, it's full of mold, and her kids can't breathe. Oh my God. You know what? I think I'm gonna just sell and cut my loss and allow someone else with more experience to renovate this house properly. Here's your 30-day notice.
Sure.
Oh,
Sure.
she had the shit face.
Sure. I got you.
That's what you get trying to be funny.
So yeah, I mean, so depends on which side I'm in. It's not even punitive. It's just like, okay, well, how are we gonna get there from here? You know, how do we
Mhm.
get there from here? And in the courts, at least in Detroit, you're gonna have to show proof of ownership before you file or when you file that summons and complaint, because they
Mhm.
now want to know. I've seen it. I'm watching it. The judges in the landlord tenant docket in the 36th district want to see proof of ownership, not just because you said so. If you're an owner, if you're trying to move people out.
I think the court need to double check because anybody could send a deed. It's a lot of deed fraud.
To your point, and that kind of comes up. But then we don't want to burden the court proper with, like, now they're the investigators. We have the mortgage folks over at the Wayne County Register of Deeds that have some capacity to do that as well. uh,
Mm.
and you're right. I mean, people, as long as somebody's trying to figure it out, they'll try it. But for those in your audience who are not about that life, that are
We hope. We
that,
hope.
that are not about that life, what they'll do is continue to, be in a community like the ones we're in right now and do lessons learned or seek licensed individuals to either advise them, to build for them, frankly, to let them know the scope of how things run around here so they can go on and make deals and sense, not just
Mm.
headaches. Mhm.
All right, we got a question for you, Ponce. What's the process after you get an order of eviction in Detroit? That's a good one.
Yeah, it is. Well, once you've gotten the order of eviction, if you define that order of eviction, I'll define it for you. Whereas you've gone through the proceedings, the people have still not turned over the property. Then you go back to the court and say, this was the date that they were supposed to move. They have not moved. We've done everything in terms of conditions. And then you have that order of eviction. That date is passed. The judge will take a look at it and the judge will sign it. At that point, it's then assigned, or you can, hire one of the court officers. Those are the folks that have the authority. They come with the order and go knock, knock, knock. Well, actually, they'll do it probably a day before. They'll do a day before and they'll paste it on the wall. And I say, hey, we'll be back here tomorrow. We need to get possession of the property. The ones that kind of set you out. So the simple answer is that's at the very end of all the process. You then need an additional order called an order of eviction that's signed by the court where the person has still not met those requirements and has not moved. And then you hire a court officer or a bailiff, some people call them, to then go over there and set them out.
Mm-hmm. Somebody asked, why don't I buy land bank houses? Um, I don't buy land bank houses because I don't like that timeline mess. Two, a lot of them houses is shit. It ain't like when the land bank first started back up and it was really good houses in there. Like, at least I haven't. But then I've also been hearing that they herd houses too, or hoard
Hmm.
houses, and they release nice ones, sometimes good ones. I've heard it's a monopoly, which I kind of believe.
Hmm.
I just don't. I rather just deal directly with the owner. That's just me.
Sure, I got you. I
And
got
then if I deal direct with the owner, I get a warranty deed. Land bank houses, you don't get no warranty deed. You get a quiet title. Then you got to pay somebody from Detroit Title and Escrow, or insert your title company here that specializes in that, so they can quiet the title and then eventually get you a warranty deed, and that costs money as well. So if you're trying to get funding for the house, a lot of times they want you to have warranty deeds. Uh, Now if you ain't trying to get funding, then you should be good. Oh, they said Tennyson starts Highland Park. What street is Tennyson?
Well, Tennyson, it's right there, right before Tuxedo and Webb on the Woodward side.
Oh,
Coming
okay. I'm like Tennyson.
up. Coming up.
To me, it always starts when I cross Chase Bank,
I hear you.
or
Folks in
NBD for the old Detroit who remember Chase Bank used to be NBD Bank.
and really what we did was more guideposts for the person that responds to that. You're correct, but we did more just guideposts to let what that stuff is. Let's see, did I send that the wrong way?
I don't know. I'm like, okay. Let me
That
see
was
if there's some more questions for you though, because I know you gotta leave in 12 minutes. They said it's frisbee golf. Frisbee golf.
oh frisbee golf. Thank you. 'Cause I'm not I wasn't here. So
I don't know. Now I gotta go YouTube it. Dog walkers, yep. Shoot, on Kercheval by me, they turned that Domino's slash gym, them been a whole bunch of stuff from Kercheval and Van Dyke. That's
mhm,
it's called Barkside. So it is a dog bar. So you can bring your dog and have a little drinky drink and they can run around the yard.
more of a European kind of flair too. I've seen that before like that.
It's dope. I can't take my dog because he's a menace, but
Okay.
he ain't friendly with other animals. Do you feel people with disabilities can own a house? Absolutely.
What? Yeah, sure.
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, or if you can expand on what it is that you're
Yeah.
saying. Mhm.
Yeah, what exactly are you saying? Because anybody should be able to own a house. I don't care what's going on. Because if you getting a disability check, that's your income. So you should be able to get a property.
So Karen there, okay, so Karen, it's one more than likely if you pull the legal description, which is really the definition of a home, not the address, because the address, you think about it, addresses you really can change, right? Addresses could be one Ponce Clay way, right? But the
Right.
legal
A and B or something.
right, you know what I'm saying? A and B. So my deed only has the downstairs address on it. If you take a look, go beyond the deed, get a title exam from Detroit Title and Escrow if you really want to feel good about it. You'll see the
Mm.
legal description and the parcel number, which gives the actual, if I can, identification of the property, not the address. The address is so you can see it on the street, but the actual identification of a property is the legal description along with the parcel ID number. So don't sweat it.
Yeah, because Kercheval like that. So Big Red got addresses on Cadillac side, but the deed is Kercheval side.
Mhm,
And the deed is the whole lot from Cadillac and Kercheval to the alley. And
mhm.
the property just so happened to sit on the lot. Cause that messed me up at first. I'm like, it say 2103, so I'm thinking it's 2013 Cadillac, but when you Google it, nothing shows up. So they told me when I pulled my permit that when I get ready to rent it, I got to do like a 9929 Kercheval A and then a B or -1 or something like that. So I'll probably just do A and B.
Yep, yep, yep. And then to address Karen, she says she's been recently told, I'm gonna tease you, Karen. We'll go back to them. I'm not gonna speak on what nobody else said. I'm sharing with you what we
Yeah, who told you that? If it wasn't no attorney or the city, or well, let me rephrase that. If it wasn't a title company who was advised from the Wayne County treasurer, then what they talking about?
Mhm. Well, again, Karen, we can't solve those things here. My recommendation is that you first seek, depending on how you received it, that you first seek the title examination from Detroit Title and Escrow, So long as that chain of title is unbroken and there's an accurate reflection of the property, and that's as far as I'm going to go with my experience and my thoughts, then you're settled. It depends on what you're trying to do after that. Or you're more than welcome to contact a real estate lawyer to address your specific concerns, because those things, although it may be unsettling to you, may not necessarily even be an issue or a concern.
Yep. All right. So can y'all speak on the lots? Are we building or holding? Both.
Yeah. It
So
depends.
this is my thing with lots. If you are afraid to jump right into a rehab, let me back up. If you are new to investing in Detroit, whether you from here or you from out the state or out the country, I do not recommend full gut rehabs for your first probably 3 to 5 projects, because you're going to stress me out, and we don't do stress over here. But if you hire me, it is going to run pretty smoothly, because I can kind of tell you what ifs might happen. So that's one. So I tell a lot of clients, just buy you a lot. It's cheaper to maintain. The taxes on there is nowhere near the price of a property or a structure sitting on the lot. All you got to do is keep the grass cut. If you got an abundance of lots, I recommend fencing it off and put up some no trespassing, no dumping signs. If it's something you can stick some on, some clients put up game cameras and stuff so you can catch people dumping. And then that's a lot less for your holding cost. And you can literally wait that out. You ain't got to worry about no land bank bother you. You might have to worry about the city bothering if you don't keep the grass cut. But other than that, you smooth. But me personally, I'm holding my lots to build later.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
makes sense. Are you talking to an attorney? Yes, I am. Miss Karen said thank you, and she will be contacting you. I love your direct agent, no stress. Yeah, you're not gonna stress me.
Asia.
This is my passion. I love what I do. When things begin to stress me, I get rid of it. That's why I ain't doing homeowner houses no more for real. That's why I cut out a lot of stuff. Like I'm a one-time person. It happened once. No, thank you. But yes, he's a lawyer. How did you learn how to run the? I'll answer that later because he got to leave in a minute. Do you have any recommendations for a real estate attorney? This one right here, Mr. Ponce Clay. His IG is the real Ponce Clay and Clay Law LLC, right?
Yes.
But for those that's not on YouTube, you come over to YouTube. All of his information is in the description. So what do you consider a bad tenant?
Somebody ain't paying your rent.
Facts.
I have to like them. Somebody's not paying your rent.
I got a couple. So number one, of course, somebody, because you can pay my rent and still tear my house up.
Yes, you're right.
But then again, you're not
Not
getting that
paying me
security
rent, then
deposit
not causing me more money. How's that?
back. Yeah. So this my top probably three things of a bad tenant. Somebody who not paying rent, somebody who damages my property, and somebody who think that they gonna tell me what they gonna do to my house and I be okay with it. Cause
Mm,
it's like the audacity. If you got all these rules, sir or ma'am, you should go buy your own house. That's
yeah.
just my philosophy.
Well, because I know my skill sets, right? And I know my capabilities and limitations. I don't have an issue owning. I don't have an issue owning things. I just can't deal with the humans. So that I can't do. I can walk in there and we can get the coons out of there and the possums, but I
Listen,
deal with humans. And so with that, I just have to stay in my lane and let those that have the skills like yourself manage humans.
I don't know if I got the skills. It's just that I'm from here. So who you talking to? That be my biggest thing. Like I'm from Detroit, just like you. How you want this to go? And it's like I know how to talk to us.
Sure. Yeah.
And it, like I could be respectful or I could be disrespectful. It's all on you, Mister, Ma'am, Sir, Ma'am, tenant.
Uh-huh. Hey.
Cause I got one tenant for a client, they ain't paid rent since like December, but he won't start the eviction process. I'm like, you know what? Why am I stressing myself out about a property that is no longer mine?
Sure.
So if you don't care about them not paying your rent, neither do I.
Sure.
And
Yep.
I just left it at that. And then they was like, well, Asia, don't be like that. I was like, we don't go together no
Over.
more.
They'll
Cause you're
run
not
you
gonna
over.
stress me.
They'll run you over.
I got another client, don't listen. I think she on like her sixth property manager. The tenant's husband gonna tell her we not, so she served them the 30, I think the 45-day notice or something. I think she really gave him like 60 days. They
Okay.
gonna tell her we ain't leaving till September. Excuse me?
Eesh.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't gonna leave where? And I was like, who's all on the lease? And she's like, they all on the lease. I'm like, see, if you want me to take over this, I will. Because
Yeah.
that's what we're not gonna do. The first step I told her, okay, reach out to Ponce. In the process of reaching out to him, reach out to your insurance. Make sure that you have fire protection and flood protection. Just in case they want to get funny and stock the tubs up, the toilets, and the sinks, or please pour cement down the pipes. I done seen all that.
Yeah. Pour the cement down the pipes, boy.
They will do that when they get angry.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is a lot
Always
of
keep the water on upstairs, right? Just turn it on.
yeah, if it's a bathroom upstairs, they just that's what I'm saying. That's when like make sure you got flood protection
Yeah.
and you got fire protection. Now, if all them things in intact, who gives a damn what they do to the house? Because you're gonna get a check. You're gonna get a check and they gonna be homeless. Let me see. Any more quick questions for Ponce? Oh, what's his IG? His IG is Real Ponce Clay or Clay Law LLC.
Clay Law PLC, I
I'm
think.
sorry,
Are you
Clay
good?
Law. What's the P?
Professional. What does it mean? Professional. It's like LLC, limited liability company.
Oh, I'm like, what's the P? That's fancy.
Limited liability company, something like that. Yeah.
All right. Trying to see if we got any more questions. Do I got a recommendation? Yeah. Are landlords required to get a dumpster for an eviction? I believe so.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
think they got to pay for the dumpster
yeah.
because the
And the reason
sheriff
I
just
say I
show up
believe
and let
so,
you out, right?
right. The reason I say I believe so, because it's rare that I get to that point. We get all the way to it, then it becomes real when they get the knock on the door. And sometimes I negotiate, depending on which side, to save the folks that some money. I'll go, how about one of the terms in our conditions would be all personal property left in there is deemed abandoned, right? So only take what you need. Now, of course, the landlord will get it quicker, but then they got to get rid of that crap. So it depends, right? And so to thwart that, whoever brought that question up,
Oh, this
uh,
is on Instagram.
oh, okay, on Instagram. So yeah, yeah, yes is the answer.
So about that, a lot of people I would assume don't want to be set out. I've never experienced that in my life, praise God. But
Right,
I'm sure that got to be like humiliating. It got to be hurtful, painful.
sure is.
Well, at least to the ones who actually tried. Now, y'all who professional tenants, I don't care about your feelings.
Right,
I'm specifically speaking to the ones who fell on hard times, might lost their job, you
right,
know, spouse passed, something like that, something that really traumatically happened. And then my only issue with that is if I'm your landlord, tell me what's going on. Like, don't just not say nothing, and I can try to work with you and stuff like that. But if you just don't say nothing, you gone.
right.
Because one thing I learned in this business is having a heart and having feelings, you're gonna get played real fast,
Yep.
real quick.
Yes.
So that's my biggest thing. And I'm really speaking to the women. The men are morally like cut and dry, able, rent due.
Stop it.
That's it. You ain't got it, you out of here. I don't
Right,
care. Now, if they dealing with a woman, typically we more, we care, we more nurturing, and that's how I got played on my first one. Never again. I don't care what happened. I don't care. If it was Paw time to go to be with, Big Jesus, I'm sorry to hear that. But if you avoided me, I'm petty. I'm gonna have flowers delivered with my eviction notice on there.
dig it.
That's just me. I
Okay.
must be slow. I can't find him on IG. I'll tag him in the bottom. All right, Ponce. I know you gotta go. So any last thing about squatter rights
Sure.
or what are squatter rights, rental laws, bad tenants, any bad tenant examples?
Sure, absolutely. Bad tenant examples, folks that cost you money and don't pay you money, and then even a nuisance to the folks that are next door, upstairs, or around the way. The way you handle that is through the due diligence and the people you screen to get in there, right? As
Mm,
far as evictions, always start with, and just hear me what I'm saying. Just ask them. It may seem very simple to you, but just ask. Could you
mhm.
leave in 30 days, or could you leave if if I gave you X amount of dollars, would you leave within a week or two? Right? That type of thing. And always, in order to get possession of a property in which you don't have possession of, meaning possession, meaning you're in it, live it, whatever. Go through the eviction process. If you're in Detroit in 36 districts, summary proceedings. I think I put a little hyperlink where it says right there, Asia, the www.legislator.michigan.mi publication. That is a, yep, that's a Michigan landlord tenant. Nice little pamphlet that I think
Mhm.
both landlords and tenants should read. About 24 pages or so, along with some forms in there. And then hire somebody to represent you in that process. Squatters, folks that you did not have a relationship with, folks that you've not given permission to be in that event, in that unoccupied or vacant building, and then folks that will not leave when you tell them not to be there. Trespassers. How do,
Intruders.
that's right. That's right. Yep.
Wait. So I can call them an intruder too, because I know words have meaning.
Yeah, you can call them intruder. You can call them intruder. Absolutely. Yeah, you sure can. And you want stop it. You want and then the default there is you still want to go through the summary proceedings process. And it just protects you as a business owner, as the landlord. Frankly, it lends some protections to the tenants so things can be clean cut across the board and you can get back into getting people in there. One more thing about squatters, any
That's
advice?
a good one.
Sure. The advice is it's part of the deal. So, say for instance, we're going to say hypothetically, especially for you more experienced investors, people with more experienced investors look beyond the trash that's in front of them, beyond the weeds, and frankly, beyond the people that are in there. Why? Because they just factor in the cost of getting rid of that.
Hmm.
That's
I
all.
I've personally never bought houses with squatters in there, but I've wholesaled or wholesaled some houses with them, and I
Mhm.
just guided them through the process.
Yeah.
I would buy a house with a squatter in it all day. Like I said before, I even approached them. Two things gonna be on that house: some insurance for
That's right.
fire protection and flood protection.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing I'm gonna do. Once that's in my possession and I got my deed, because make sure you got your deed before you do anything to any property. I don't care if you buy it from the land bank, the city, the Wayne County tax auction, me, any realtor broker. Before you do anything to the house, get your deed. That's number one. Once that insurance and all that is binding, oh, we about to play ball.
Dig it.
And then
And
you can get your house cheaper too because you got to factor in what it's going to cost you to get them out of there.
that's right. Uh, if I may, again, everything has a plus or minus to it. Squatters could be the cheapest security that you ever had. If you're not ready yet to do something, hey, somebody else staying up in there, whether you like them or not,
Hmm.
prevents the hood from coming up in there and really going to work.
I would do that. I let them go on up in there and live their little best life, and then as soon as my funding hits, let's go and get
Then
this
that's when you do
started.
it, right? Yeah, it's
Because
a
if you can't protect the house and secure it, I ain't talking about just no board up. That don't do nothing. That might get them. You might get a week.
sure.
Because anybody can cut through some plywood, y'all. Now you can bolt it and board it from the inside. You could double plywood it to slow them down. But I'm putting steel covers on my properties because you and your cousins ain't coming in there. In my 14 years, I've had 3 break-ins.
That's pretty
That
good.
ain't a bad ratio.
And I'm sure this is in other places, but I'm not gonna laugh at you. But the very people who had a client, oh yeah, man, I get stainless steel, with a stainless steel stove and refrigerator being delivered. I said midday. I said okay. 2 days later, it's gone. I said, it's probably the people you had delivered. I mean,
That
it's just
too.
the way it is. It's little things like that that you'll, put the big old box outside. Asia can tell you all about it. There's just, I mean, there aren't necessarily things to stop because thieves will be thieves, but you dang sure got some things that can mitigate.
Yeah,
Uh,
you gotta slow them down. You can't stop no thief, but I'm gonna make it just a little bit difficult for you.
thieves
You
like
ain't gonna just walk up in here because I left the door unlocked.
they don't like to work for it. They like to, they like it quick.
Yeah, let me make you go get some power tools.
Hey, Asia, as always, I appreciate you considering me. Thank you for
Sure.
sharing your audience with me. I don't take it for granted because these are your folks, and you've been
Oh,
doing
thank
this
you, Ponce. I
10
appreciate
years.
you. You
So
always
these are your
come through.
people. Absolutely.
You
All
always come through for me. With my crazy clients who don't listen, I send them right to you, and you be like, "Bro, what the hell?" I'm like, "Listen, just
right.
help me out,
No,
cause
you
they
got it.
don't listen."
Okay. We'll talk. Good seeing you.
But for sure, thank you, and I'll see
All
you at
right.
the draft.
You got it. Take
All
care.
right, bye.
Bye.
All right, y'all. I'm staying on a little longer because I know y'all got some questions I ain't get to answer. So, how much is a good amount to buy your first investment property? Um, let me see. I used to tell people to have let me see. What part I used to tell them? Between 50 and 75,000, right? But now the way the market is going up and stuff like that, and our cost is going up, I'm gonna tell people between probably 65 and 100,000. That's more than enough to get your first house in the rehab and get you a tenant in there. But you can still find some deals in the city under 50,000 that only need maybe another 50 in rehab. So that still puts you within the 75 to $100,000 price. Now I'm interested in learning more about this conversation. Yeah, me and Posse be kicking it. This was great. Oh, thank y'all for tuning in. But if you ain't got no questions, I can, get off here. I accidentally clicked on the live and all I hear is I'm gonna serve them an eviction with flowers. My level of petty. Listen, you gonna get this eviction notice. I don't care. I do not care. You're gonna get this notice. Cause if y'all watch any movies and stuff like that, they be serving people at the spa, on their wedding day. Just like you ruined my house and ruined my day by not paying my rent. And now I got to go into my own stash and pay whatever I need to pay over here to keep everything afloat, taxes, insurance, whatever. Um, you about to be inconvenienced too. That's just me. Consultation fee. I charge $312. Well, that's what it starts at, but the link is in my bio. For the prices and stuff like that, you can see. But consultations, I think I started at $312 for like 20 minutes. But if we go over 10 minutes, so I ain't tripping. What about container homes? My boy do them too. That's next for me to start building. I'm learning that, so it's a process. Is it best to buy brick? I say buy whatever you can afford. When I first started, I was buying frame houses because they were cheaper. I'll still buy a frame house all day because it's still gonna rent. But I just prefer brick because I worked on fire damaged houses, and the frame ones that have fire damage, you might as well tear them down compared to a brick one. How long does it take to get your certificate of occupancy and register as a rental in Detroit? Mm, I don't think mine took more than 30 days. It really depends on you because you got to go online and get the process rolling. But certificate of occupancy comes after you pass all your building permits. I've only done it from that side. I haven't done it from the other side. But to register as a rental, so when registering as a rental, right? If you Section 8 the property, the Section 8 inspection can hold as the city of Detroit inspection. So when you go on the website, I'm gonna do a Zoom live or something like that with y'all and walk y'all through how to register. I think that'd be a good one. And then you upload all your documents, your deed. What else you gotta upload? It's the deed and something else. Your proof of identity, some other stuff like who you are, that you own the house, blah blah blah. So then you gotta pay the fee, which I need to mail in. It was like $76 or something. And then once you pass the Section 8 inspection, you upload the Section 8 inspection, and then they're gonna digitally send you a PDF with the I don't think I got one in here with the seal on there showing that it passed the city of Detroit register inspection, and then they're gonna mail you a hard copy too. So instead of paying for, they say you still supposed to get a lead clearance, but I've never got a lead clearance because my Section 8 went trumped it, so they haven't required it. They still might make you do it, but I got all my houses, so I don't have to worry about that. Let me see. Do you work with wholesalers? If so, where can we submit our deals? I will post my email for wholesale deals in the comments. I work with wholesalers, but it depends because some of y'all don't know what the hell y'all doing and y'all be greedy. I'm doing a 50-50 split because if you didn't have a deal, you wouldn't I wouldn't have made no money. If I ain't had a buyer, you wouldn't have made no money. I just think that's fair. I'm not signing a whole bunch of damn papers because I done did that before and the deal didn't go through. The best wholesale deals I ever done with other wholesalers was on a straight up handshake or we just took each other's word. Best area to buy the whole city. I would like to learn from you. Cool. We got a mentorship that starts in 2 weeks. I think it's May something. I think the first Tuesday in May. The cost is $5,000 though. Ain't nothing free over here other than what I give y'all. But I give y'all enough free information for y'all to really be able to take off and go on and be great and fly like a butterfly. But y'all got no more questions. I'm about to blow this popsicle stand because the draft. is coming up. But quick church announcements. Detroit Real Estate Weekend, August. Let me back up so y'all can see this. And August the 1st through August the 4th, VIP includes your hotel, food, a tour of a container home, tour of a tiny home community, tour of the city. We're going to see some properties for sale, some that I'll be whatever I'm working on at that time, and some other people that I'm cool with in the city that let us see their houses. The last time in 2022 when we did it, we actually got to see some land bank properties, and the land bank themselves was actually there to answer y'all questions, which I think is cool because it don't feel like I'm biased or whatever, or I don't want y'all to feel like I don't know what I'm talking about. So I really do hear it directly from the horse's mouth. If that makes sense. VIP also includes the meet and greet, which is gonna be I'm not sure yet, but I'm gonna figure it out between now and the end of May. And it also includes the workshop itself. So Thursday is the meet and greet. Friday we tour the city, the container home, the tiny home. Then Saturday we do the workshop, and then Saturday night we might meet again and have like a little closeout dinner. That's typically what I do, but it really depends on how long the workshop is. I'm trying to get the workshop be out of there by 5, and then maybe dinner be like at 8 or 9 or something. What else? That's it. Oh, so VIP tickets are $2,500 for the hotel. If it's you and your boo or your bestie or somebody that might be your boo or not, I don't ask no questions. We got the 2-for-1 price for $3,500. And then if you just want to come to the workshop itself, those tickets are $297 until all the early birds is gone. I don't know how many left, but it's some left. And then the regular price once all the early birds is gone for that is $497. Now, if you want to do VIP and you don't want a hotel room, you're gonna stay where you stay, or you local in the city, that price is just $1,500. JVs, yeah, I do a JV, but it depends on the person because I done tried that before too. Real quick story. So I did a JV with somebody. I signed all their little stupid paperwork. They the ones who played me because I didn't want to sign it in the first place because I've never done that. Like every JV I've done, it was just all off each other's word, and that was that. So we get to the closing. Him and the buyer, they get to arguing. Like I'm talking gunplay arguing, and I'm like, "What's going on? What's taking so long?" I'm in there in the closing with the seller, and then they came. The dude I was JVing with, he left, and then the buyer came and like, "Look, I'm sorry, I ain't working with that MF for blah blah blah." I'm like, "What the hell just happened?" So I apologized to the seller. This was their first American title. Anybody who's working back then can verify this story. So then a week or so go by, the seller reached out to me and then the buyer. So I just went on and connected them two, and then they end up closing the deal later. So the buyer reached out to me maybe a week after they closed, was like, "Dang, Asia, good looking. That show you a real stand up person. Here goes some bread." I think he gave me like $2,000. We met at like Tim Hortons or something or Starbucks, and he still gave me some money. It wasn't the wholesale fee I was supposed to make, but he still gave me that just off the strength that I did that. I still closed the deal. I was like, "Look, you ain't got to worry about me, but at the end of the day, my name is all I got, and that kept me good with my name." So JVN, it depends on the person because y'all can send all that paperwork all y'all want, and y'all be the ones that's full of shit. So it ain't work for me signing all that paperwork. But if y'all ain't got nothing else for me, I'm about to blow this popsicle stand. Y'all have a great evening. Detroit, be safe this week. It's gonna be hundreds of thousands of people in the city. If you have a business, I wish nothing but a whole lot of money for y'all to make this week. Make sure y'all customer service on point and your food on point, or insert service here, and get all this great money that's about to come to Detroit and boost our local economy. Yeah, be safe, y'all. Have fun. See y'all at the draft. Deuces.